Aquarius Divine Feminines. Welcome to your end of year reading for November and December. And as you can see, I've already shuffled the cards and laid them out, so we can go straight into it. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the Hermit, and the Ace of Discs underneath that. So the Page of Swords in this deck features a woman with this red dragon tattoo. So Chinese dragons are symbols of good luck and prosperity. They're potent and auspicious symbols of power and strength. And this woman has proven herself and her strength to be worthy of wearing this dragon on her skin. And it's really about taking action in a new path, a new beginning, based on one's truth, speaking and expressing one's truth, the quest for truth generally, and the strength and courage required in walking that path. And the Aquarius feminine is really at a point where she can imagine this new way of being, this new perspective, this new world. And she's imagining it and creating it, and it's reflected in all her actions and all her words, and she's moving forward on this path boldly and without fear. And this is really leading her to reach this point of fulfilling what she has come here to do. And it feels for her like a very divine quest, a very spiritual path, where the energy is coming down from a higher source. She's channeling this information from her higher self and allowing it to come down into her physical experience, and using that energy to branch out and create a different world, a different way of being. Now, don't forget that we've been in the Aquarius North Node with the Leo in the South Node. This is actually going to be shifting soon. But those energies from the summer are really going to affect us, all those eclipses with the Aquarius North Node and Leo South Node for the 6 months after. So definitely all the way to the end of the year. So the Aquarian quest is really very much about feeling, acting, speaking, very much from a collective point of view, and understanding how each individual has that impact on the collective in a much broader sense than just looking at oneself. And so this is really the path that Aquarius feminines are completing towards the end of this year. And in the past position, not really the past in this spread, it's really about the energy to let go. We have the Queen of Wands, the Page of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. So the Queen of Wands is really a woman who's mastered herself with regards to her passions, her purpose, her drive in this life, and expressing that in every way, specifically in her work and what she does in the material sense. So in the energy to let go, I'm really feeling that there's a sense of completion on this path where she's really built an environment where she can grow and express her creativity and gifts coming from a place of her true self. And also taking that to others, sharing that to others. In this particular deck, she's holding a jaguar, the spirit of the jungle, a powerful spirit of strength and protection in South America indigenous cultures. And so there is a sense that she's really mastered herself in her own internal jungle, her own internal energy, with regards to the dark forest that one traverses on the path of the wands in finding one's true purpose. This path is not an easy one, being true to oneself. And so this is really showing her mastery and completion at this stage of her path. And in this deck, she's also crowned by an obsidian volcanic glass on her head, which is used as a sharp knife. It can be, this material, but also as a mirror. It reflects whatever is looking into it. So there is a sense that she's using her gifts to show people who they really are, sharing her ability to master her own truth and enable others to be the same, to follow the same path. So very much working, acting, speaking, being true to herself and sharing and teaching and mentoring others on the same path. So I feel that this has completed the fact that it's in the energy to let go, with the Page of Wands in the energy to embrace. And so rather than a regression, I feel that this is really signaling a new phase, a new path that the Aquarius woman is entering into, where having mastered herself in this specific way, she's now stepping onto a new cycle, a new experience, a new level of how to live and express her truth, and her purpose, and what that means moving forward, where to go from here, what is next. And this is really what she is pondering at this time. Now, in the energy yet to come, we have the Eight of Swords. So this really is pointing towards, perhaps in her new quest, her new path, this new cycle, is going to bring up anything that is unresolved within herself. Any wounds, fears, limiting beliefs are going to come up to be seen. So she is going to go through a period of confusion and doubt. And the key to the Eight of Swords really is understanding that a lot of this suffering is self-inflicted. And perhaps, there is a message here to consider this as an aspect of oneself, shining the mirror on oneself. What is it on this path that one can improve in oneself? And so these are really, the Eight of Swords, it's really about a sense of a self-inflicted suffering, and also specifically related to one's mind, one's thoughts, one's limiting beliefs. And so the key to opening the door is basically to change one's perspective, to recognize that it's really about how you are viewing a situation, and how you may view it differently. So know and be true to yourself moving forward on this new level that she's stepping into. New levels of deeper shadow, wounds, or aspects of herself or others are coming up to be seen. And this is really confirmed by the High Priestess in the oval environment, which is pointing towards things that are hidden, deeper inner aspects of ourselves, looking at perhaps the shadow self, related specifically to the divine feminine. And in the energy to receive, we have the Nine of Wands. So there is a sense that Aquarian feminine is very much battling this aspect at this time. And the Nine of Wands is completion. Whatever she's been battling is a cycle that is coming to completion, but the battle is not over yet. And there is a message here really to not give up at this point, to stand strong in your beliefs and to move forward fearlessly like the tiger in this card. It's nearing completion. Don't give up. You're still standing. And nines relate to the hermit. So hermits are really the path left traveled. The path to self-realization. And with the Aquarian theme, it really is not just of herself, but for the collective. So there is this deeper truth, this deeper quest on this path that she's going to take this to a new level where the message is to keep standing, not to give up yet. And the energy to give is the Chariot. So this is really about taking the middle path, as the Buddhists would put it, harnessing the two energies on the chariot of the soul, which is what this represents in the tarot. It's really about the journey of the soul. And the charioteer is one's reason, one's thoughts, one's mind that drives these two energies, opposing forces, bringing them together, harnessing them to move forward. So it's very much about taking action, moving forward on whatever this new path is, and moving forward from a very balanced place, recognizing that the darkness is as important as the light. Good and bad, this is all just in our perceptions. And having that broader perspective to understand that they're all part of the whole. They're all equally important. And once she's mastered that and shared that message collectively, this is really pointing towards complete joy, complete happiness, a childlike sense of joy that perhaps she has not felt for a long time returns to her. It's basically also the sun, if one can see it as the opposite of the moon, shining a light on these aspects of the feminine energies that have been hidden, bringing together the two aspects, the dark and the light, shining a light on things that have not been seen, and spreading that message more broadly. So I'm just going to pull some clarifiers to see if there are any more messages that want to come through. So we have the Eight of Swords, Queen of Coins, Nine of Wands, Two of Wands, Vision Quest, that is the Hangman, Five of Coins, Five of Swords, High Priestess again, Chariot, Judgment, Death. Very powerful. Queen of Swords, Nine of Cups, Eight of Cups, and the Devil. Energy at the bottom, Nine of Wands once again. So the battle is definitely not over, and this message here is just confirming really that this path of truth that the Aquarius Divine Feminine has been on it's really been a challenge about bringing together very opposing forces. And there's been a lot of confusion in that path. It's been a really tough journey. And the message here really with the Judgment card and the Death card, together with the Mother of Earth, which is the Queen of Coins, and the Nine of Fire, Nine of Wands, we've now had in 3 different decks. Nine of Wands. So you are still standing. It's not time to give up yet. Stay strong, persevere on this new path, because it has a much deeper significance. And it really is about creating this new world. And this new phase, this new road that's being taken, once the old path has been destroyed, speaking one's truth, shining a light on one's truth with regards to the divine feminine. And from that place, there really is, a sense of loss, without question. You may be personally walking away from something that doesn't serve you. Whatever this confusion brought up, there's still a lot of fear and uncertainty and insecurity around love, around emotions, that needs to be healed, and really about walking away from an energy that is not built on a secure foundation, and embracing a new way of receiving love, of understanding what that means. Perhaps an offer of love coming in for some of you, potentially a water sign, not necessarily, could be a Virgo, Cancer. But it's really here about the insight that one gains from going within and overcoming one's shadows, looking at the darkness, the fear that it's rooted in, and really, like an eagle, flying over with this broader perspective that shines a light on aspects of our femininity, ways of being women in the world, what that means, shining a light to banish the darkness, to banish the fear, and create this new beginning from a more divine place. And with the Hierophant and the High Priestess here again, just really confirming here that there's a real sense that there's a lot of fear around what the divine feminine means. And I just feel that it's really about breaking through these structures, these religious beliefs, these communities that are expressing this in a place that is rooted in ego, rooted in fear, rooted in our wounds, coming from a wounded place. And, this sense with the Hanged Man of reflection, going within, gaining a deeper understanding, shining a light on what it means to give and receive love, and to have that balance with the masculine and the feminine, yin and yang, good and bad, dark and light, understanding that it really is about integrating both within oneself and how that would be reflected in the external world. So, total destruction of a former way of being masculine and feminine in the world, and the sense of being born again, redemption, creating a new world of balance, harmony, and joy. Return to that innocent way of giving and receiving love in a more balanced way. That is a really beautiful, powerful message for Aquarian divine feminines, always to be seen in a collective sense for all of us, really, all signs, but particularly for the Lions and Aquarians out there at this time. So I'm going to be pulling out a card from the Osho deck as the overall guidance for you to finalize the reading. And the card that wants to come out. Turning inwards. Number 4. Sit back and relax as I read you this message. Turning inward is not turning at all. Going inward is not going at all. It simply means you have been running after this desire and that, and you've been running and coming in again to frustration. Each desire brings misery, that there is no fulfillment through desire. You never reach anywhere. That contentment is impossible. Once you see this truth, that running after desires takes you nowhere, you stop. Not that you make any effort to stop. If you make an effort, it's like running, but in a subtle way. You're still desiring, but maybe now it's desirelessness that you desire. If you're making an effort to go in, you're still going out. Any effort can only take you outward. All journeys are outward journeys. There's no inward journey. How can you journey inward? You're already there. There's no point in going. When going stops, journeying disappears. When desiring is no longer clouding your mind, you are in. This is called turning in, but it is not a turning at all. It is simply not going out. The woman in this image has a faint smile on her face. In fact, she is just watching the antics of the mind. Not judging or trying to stop them, not identifying, just watching as if they were traffic on the road or ripples on the surface of a pond. And the antics of the mind are slightly amusing as it jumps up and down and twists this way and that, trying to get your attention and seduce you into the game. To develop the knack of taking a distance from the mind is one of the greatest blessings. It's what meditation is all about, not chanting a mantra or repeating an affirmation, but just watching, as if the mind belongs to someone else. You are ready to take this distance now, and to watch the show without getting caught up in the drama. Indulge yourself in the simple freedom of turning in whenever you can, and the knack of meditation will grow and deepen in you. So I really feel that, there's a big battle that you're going through at the moment, and this is really just a message of self-care and the need to go within and change perspective. Again, these thoughts, this suffering that is potentially going to come up at this time will be triggered by this path that you're on. It's really just about understanding that the fear is just in your mind, and to remember to be the observer. And there is something very powerful about having that regular meditation, which sort of trains your mind to go back to that place, that border perspective, where you tune into your inner truth, your inner knowing that you're on the right path. Much love to you, divine feminines.